Okay, what is up everyone? Hope you're all doing well. Hope everything's going in a good direction for you. I got my toy yesterday. I'm actually very happy. I think I told you guys, like so it's for my birthday, but yeah, put some money into it. It came with a stick and everything. Still cheaper than what you can buy it for. Yeah, that was the ironic part about everything is we went to what is it, Amazon? But we did Amazon US instead of SA, and still cheaper than what you can find in SA. So Amazon SA as well. So for them, it makes more sense that I order it on South Africa and US, get it shipped here, and it still costs cheaper than the base version in SA on their store. So yeah, then yeah, I think I just wanted to move on a bit to just how everything's going. Like I said, I think last episode, it's tough on this just because you want to be open and honest, and you want to be raw, but you also want to be a bit private. I know everyone wants to keep some of their life off the internet, and for purposes of why I want to do it, or why I'm fighting with being very raw and just putting it out there. So I just want to, hopefully someone watches this and understands that like things also get tough for me. They also, whatever I may portray over here doesn't mean that everything is fine and dandy when I'm outside of my own life. So yeah, for me, just day 2 of the fast done. Yesterday was very tough. It was very tough in the sense of, yeah, I don't know, I just feel a bit broken. I feel a bit more worse for wear. Hunger's everything else, ironically, is not the thing that's beating me up right now. It's the situation I'm going through, and the situation, although it might be simple for some people, it's tough for me. And it's just I don't know, like for me the main thing is with all this is like there's a lot of small battles that I need to win, and although I'm winning them for the most part, that is, I'm just 1 or 2 that will, like, they just kick you right in the nads, dude. I don't know how else to say it, but I'm doing fine, then bam, I'm done. Like, I don't know what else to say. I sit and I don't know, man. I'm not in the greatest headspace. In terms of everything, yeah, for me, so just something for me that's always just been an insecurity. It's just where I am in my life. I'm not 29. The partner issue is right now up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen. I have friends that are younger than me, like moving in together, doing their thing, starting a solid life, while here I am sitting and like I'm just struggling to even make ends meet, let alone like have anything beyond that. And I don't know, I'm just like, yeah, I think that one yesterday hit me when I found out like friends are doing quite well, they're moving out, and I'm happy for them. By every stretch of the imagination, that's good on them. It's cool for them. It's nice to see other people take this cool big step for them and see what they do. And I'm listening to them, and they're like, oh no, we're buying all these things for our house, and I'm like, damn, I couldn't afford anything for my house. I got a lot of what I have from my parents, and the stuff that wasn't bought was hand-me-downs, which is, listen, that's not to say anything's bad with it. It's just, it just gives you perspective on how they are working and how things are working for them, and yeah, where I am right now. And some of that will fall into the relationship elements. It's just, I'm sitting here going like, I can't do all these things, and I have a partner we don't know until Friday. But for all intents and purposes, I have a partner and like if I can't do these things, like what are we gonna do going forward? I'd like to be that person who's a provider, who's a this, who's a that, but I don't know. I'm just not. Yeah. I don't know what to say about it. So it's a bit of a, yeah, it's a bit of a broken situation, and I get into these. I don't know about anyone else, but I get into these situations where, like I say, you find, then you get hit with some sort of information, and then that stability that you've created over X amount of time just crumbles, and you're like, no, I don't know what to do because God's not looking after me. He's not doing this. He's not doing this, and like He's allowing everyone else to do these cool things, and here I am. I'm sitting here. I'm on my own. I don't have anyone to vent to. I don't have anyone to do anything with. I don't have money to go just do whatever I want. Like all these other, everyone else is getting these nice things, and here, why am I sitting here? Why am I in this position of struggle? That's all it feels like right now. Is life is just a struggle. And it sucks. I genuinely feel right now life sucks. But something that I'm learning is just something that I'm learning is just hold on. Just hold. That's all I can say. I'm in a stage of I'm in a stage of just hold on. At the end of the day, my situations aren't the worst situations. I am looked after. I am still here. I am able to do what I love, despite whatever troubles it comes with. And I don't know, man. It's just right now. It's just a hold on thing. I wish I had more to say. I'm just hoping it gets better, seeing that it's getting better. But right now, man, it's just dark. And yeah, like I said, I think a lot of people will feel like this in stages of their life, and that's why I fasted. I think it's just, and I'm fasting. I think it's just so. It really, it adds to the difficulty, but you sit and I don't know. I'm sitting and I'm praying more often than I did. I'm sitting, just listening to songs to calm me down, to worship songs to calm me down, to sometimes they even just break me down. Like, I don't know, I was sobbing in the car yesterday. Just, I don't know about you guys, but that Elevation in Maverick City was on, yeah. And I think it's like a million little miracles, and I'm so quick to tell everyone what I'm grateful for, and that all goes out the window when you feel like you got nothing. And I sit and I listen, and I don't know. It just gave me a perspective that I might feel like certain things aren't working. I might feel like there's a lot of things that aren't going my way, but like it says there's just so many things you can be grateful for. It might not be the things that you want in the way that you want them, but they're still ticking over and they're still keeping you going. And that's the first part. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like I say, for today, I'm dead, man. Like, it's only Wednesday. In theory, 2 more days. then we see what happens. And yeah, I think when I just sat and I listened to the one song, and the Miracle song, and I closed my eyes for a bit. I think I told you guys I struggle with that a lot. Never used to like closing my eyes during prayer. Never used to like closing my eyes just to calm down. Like closing my eyes was for sleeping. And I don't know. I just saw like a horizon, just a big empty field, couple mountains, vegetation obviously, and on the left hand side was just dark. And all around was technically dark, and like I don't know, it just was dark for a bit, and you just see the sun come out slowly but surely. But I don't know, I just saw it's just a big bright sun, orange, yellow, those two mixes. It starts with just the top of the sun, and then it slowly comes out, and you start to see light cover cover the darkness. And I don't know, maybe that will relate to some of you. I can see where it relates to me, but for me I feel like that's selfish. But yeah, sit in prayer. If you guys go through tough times, I think find a worship song this was helping me. Just find a worship song that like relates to you, relates to your struggle. And for me, I just put on repeat, because I'm like, if you're gonna think you've got nothing, you're going to hear how much you got. Once you keep hearing it, you will remember. And yeah, that's where I'm at. So let's get going. It's Genesis 32 verse 1 to 33 and then to 16. So it's a lot of reading, so this episode might be quite long, but it is what it is. Okay. As Jacob started on his way again, the angels of God came to meet him. When Jacob saw them, he exclaimed, "This is God's camp." So he named the place Mahanaim. Then Jacob sends gifts to Esau. And Jacob sent messages ahead to his brother Esau, who was living in the region of Seir in the land of Edom. He told him, "Give him this message to my master Esau. Humble greetings from your servant Jacob. Until now I've been living with Uncle Laban, and now I own cattle, donkeys, flocks of sheep and goats, and many servants, both men and women. I have sent these messengers to inform my lord of my coming, hoping that you will be friendly to me." After delivering the message, the messengers returned to Jacob and reported, "We met your brother Esau, and he's already on his way to meet you, with an army of 400 men. Jacob was terrified at the news. He divided his household along with the flocks of herds and camels into two groups. He thought, if Esau meets one group and attacks it, perhaps the other group can escape. Then Jacob prayed, "O God, my grandfather Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, O Lord, you told me, return to your own land and your relatives, and you promised me I will treat you kindly. I am not worthy of the unfailing love and faithfulness you have shown to me, your servant. When I left home and crossed the Jordan River, I owned nothing except a walking stick. Now my household fills 2 large camps. O Lord, please rescue me from the hand of my brother Esau. I'm afraid that he is coming to attack me, along with my wives and children. But you promised me I will surely treat you kindly, and I will multiply your descendants until they become numerous as the sands along the seashore, too many to count." And Jacob stayed where he was for the night. Then he selected these gifts from his possessions to present to his brother Esau: 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 ewes, 20 rams, 30 female camels with their young, 40 cows, 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys, and 10 male donkeys. He divided these animals into herds and assigned each different servants. Then he told his servants, "Go ahead with the animals, but keep some distance between the herds." He gave these instructions to the men leading the first camp. "When my brother Esau meets you, he will ask, 'Whose servants are you? Where are you going? Who owns these animals?' You must reply, 'They belong to your servant Jacob, but they are a gift for his master Esau. Look, he is coming right behind us.'" Jacob gave some instructions to the second and third herdsmen and to all who followed behind the herds. "You must say the same thing to Esau when you meet him, and be sure to say, 'Look, your servant Jacob is right behind us.'" Jacob thought, "I will try to appease him by sending gifts ahead of me. When I see him in person, perhaps he will be friendly to me." So the gifts were sent ahead, while Jacob himself spent the night in the camp. Jacob wrestles with God. During the night, Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 servants' wives, and 7 of his sons, and crossed Jabbok River with him. After taking them to the other side, he sent over all his possessions. This left Jacob alone in the camp, and man came and wrestled with him about until the dawn began to break. When the man saw that he would not win the match, he touched Jacob's hip and wrenched it out of his socket. Then the man said, "Let me go, for the dawn is breaking." But Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." "What's your name?" the man asked. He replied, "Jacob." "Your name will no longer be Jacob," the man told him. "From now on, you will be called Israel, because you have fought with God and with men, and you have won." "Please tell me your name," Jacob said. "Why would you want to know my name?" the man replied. Then he blessed Jacob there. Jacob named the place Peniel, which means face of God. For he said, "I have seen God face to face, yet my life has been spared." The sun was rising as Jacob left Peniel, and he was limping because of the injury to his hip. Even today, people of Israel don't eat the tendon near the hip socket because of what happened that night when the man strained the tendon of Jacob's hip. Jacob and Esau make peace. Then Jacob looked up and saw Esau coming with his 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah and Rachel and his 2 servant wives. He put the servant wives and their children in front, Leah and her children next, Rachel and Joseph last. Then Jacob went on ahead. As he approached his brother, he bowed to the ground 7 times before him. Then Esau ran to meet him and embraced him, threw his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they both wept. Then Esau looked at the women and children and asked, "Who are these people with you?" "These are the children God has graciously given me, your servant," Jacob replied. Then the servant wives came forward with their children and bowed before him. Next came Leah with her children, and they bowed before him. Then finally Joseph and Rachel came forward and bowed before him. "And what were all the flocks and herds I met as I came?" Esau asked. Jacob replied, "They are a gift, my lord, to ensure your friendship, my brother. I have plenty," Esau answered. "Keep what you have for yourself." But Jacob insisted, "No, I have found favor with you. Please accept this gift from me, and what a relief it to see your friendly smile. It is like seeing the face of God. Please take this gift I have brought you, for God has been very gracious to me. I have more than enough." And because Jacob insisted, Esau finally accepted the gift. "Well," Esau said, let's be going. I will lead the way." But Jacob replied, "You can see, my lord, that some of the children are very young, and the flocks of herds and their young have their young too. If they are very young, and the flocks and the herds have their young too, if they are..." My lord, go ahead. I don't know where I'm at right now. Let's just go from 13. But Jacob replied, "You see, my lord, that some of the children are very young, and the flocks and herds have their young too. If they are driven too hard, even for one day, all the animals could die. Please, my lord, go ahead of your servant. We will follow slowly at a pace that is comfortable for the livestock and the children. I'll meet you there, at Seir. All right, Esau said, but at least let me assign some of my men to guard and protect you. Jacob responded, that's not necessary. It's enough that you have received me warmly, my lord. So Esau turned around and started back to Seir that same day. Okay, so a bit of a wholesome story. I think we read that they were at each other's throats because of what Jacob did to Esau, where he tricked him out of his birthright and then lied to Isaac about being Esau to receive the family's treasures. I don't know what we would call it. So it's interesting. Esau did well on his own, Jacob did well on their own, and they both created or got a hold of quite a good nation, kind of thing. Okay. Why did angels of God meet Jacob? Angels intervened in human situations many times throughout the Bible. Although angels will sometimes appear in human form, these angels must have looked different, for Jacob recognized them at once. The reason angels met Jacob is unclear, but because of their visit, Jacob knew God was with him. I think what's important here is it says that angels can come in human form. Doesn't mean that if you don't see wings, that maybe when people are talking to you, it's not a form of an angel. I think sometimes, for me at least, is the way I would see it is just we have problems, people know of our problems, and sometimes they're blessed with maybe some knowledge that we don't yet have the ability to comprehend because we're going through the situation, and God may send people over just to give you the right thing to say, right thing to do. Like we said in here, it became a thing of just knowing God's around, and I think that's what you need to pay attention to. It doesn't mean everyone's information's right. Maybe everyone's information's wrong, and that's the message, but it just means that we should listen. If you can listen, you have a shot. If you're a stubborn heart or unwilling to listen, it's a tough one. Okay, then the last time Jacob had seen Esau, his older brother, he had been ready to kill him for stealing their family blessing. Esau was so angry that he had planned to kill Jacob as soon as their father Isaac died. Fearing their reunion, Jacob sent a messenger ahead with gifts. He hoped to buy Esau's favor. Yeah, and that's consequence to action. Like I said earlier, is Jacob did wrong. Although he was promised X, Y, and Z, he still did wrong to receive it instead of allowing it to come his way. And what happened there, you've now created a void between you and your brother, and man feared for his life at that stage. And I don't think many of us have been through that, where you genuinely fear for your life because there's a threat coming. But I can imagine that those, however long it took, of pain, of suffering, of this, of that, it counted. Then 32:9-12. How would you feel if you knew you were about to meet the person you had cheated out of his most precious possession? Jacob had taken Esau's birthright and his blessing. Now he was about to meet this brother for the first time in 20 years, and he was frantic with fear. He collected his thoughts, however, and decided to pray. When we face a difficult conflict, we can run, but frantically. We can run about frantically, or we can pause to pray. Which approach will be more effective? Yeah, that sums up everything I said in the beginning. Sometimes running around frantically does feel a bit more liberating, in the sense of maybe you just stumble across on something that helps. But like I said earlier, surround yourself with I don't know, a song. A song's so easy. We always listen to music, and if you can understand what the song is saying and the words that are coming out, you will find that it like liberates you. You feel good, you feel happy, you feel like something's positive is going in your direction. So yeah, I'm sitting and praying. I'll let you know how it goes. Whether it's good or bad, I know there's a lesson that needs to be learnt, and for me there's a lot of realization that comes with what's happening. And I always say that I go through these different stages of evolution's not the right word, but progression might be a better fitting word, where I'm at a level and I'd like to think that I gradually become better as a person, but I don't know. I think for me it's I plateau, then I take these big leaps, and then I plateau, then I take big leaps, and that's just how my character's developing. And yeah, I think this is just genuinely right now just feels like it's one of those steps where either I do what I keep telling all of you to do, and I do it well, and I develop a better character, or I don't, and I just keep the flatlining. So yeah, that's where I'm at with my head right now. So Jacob continued his wrestling match all night just to be blessed. He was persistent. God encourages persistence in all areas of our life, including the spiritual. Where you, in your spiritual life, do you need more persistence? Strong character develops as you struggle through tough conditions. Where do I need persistence? In my life, I would say persistence. Where would I persist? I've been persistent in this situation, I'd say that much. I get the problem with where I'm at is everyone's got a different opinion and everyone's got a different way of seeing it. And I know what I want to happen, and some people I don't tell them what I want to happen, but some people will agree with what they're saying on how to deal with it, and others not. And that's where the tough part comes in, is discernment. Something sometimes I know, sometimes I don't. It's a toss-up, man. It's like a flip of the coin sometimes for me. Like with my job, I knew there was just a moment that it just hit me, and I was just like, that's it. This hasn't hit me yet, so I'm struggling, man. But it is what it is. God gave many Bible people new names: Abraham, Sarah, and Peter. Their new names were symbols of how God had changed their lives. Here we see how Jacob's character had changed. Jacob, the ambitious deceiver, became Israel, the one persistently clinging to God. He was learning to live in an ongoing relationship with God, who would fight for him. It's funny because I don't like Jacob, man. Yeah. maybe that's what I need to pray for, is Jacob, Israel's persistence. Jacob must have been amazed to see Esau's change of heart when the two brothers met again. Esau was no longer bitter over losing his birthright and blessing. Instead, he was content with what he had. Life can bring us some bad situations. We can feel cheated, as Esau did, but we don't have to remain bitter. We can remove bitterness from our lives by honestly expressing our feelings to God, forgiving those who have wronged us, and being content with what we have. Sometimes I just find it there's some introspection that needs to happen here, man. That's what I was saying, is it's so ironic how some things just happen and work out, you know. I think I never read this before. I did read it long ago, but I didn't know this was the chapter that comes up. So yeah, it just feels like there needs to be a thing of forgiveness, and content with what you have is an important one. Like I said earlier, it doesn't matter how you get certain places, as long as you're there. And sometimes it's by God's blessing, sometimes it's just because you did what you did, which you can still say is God's blessing. But let's say sometimes God worked hard on the one than the other to get to a certain situation, but at the end of the day, you're still in a situation where you can be happy, where you are looked after, where you have blessings, where you have miracles, and you have all these things that look after you. And that's what, at the end of the day, I think we need to feel grateful for. Is we sit too long thinking of things that we don't have, things that other people have, things that, I don't know, that we want. And I think because we're focusing so hard on those things we don't have, we forget what we do have. And it's so easy to disregard everything that you have, see it as not good enough anymore, see it as, I don't know, like it's not enough. But it got you this far. It's provided for you. It is looked after you. It is sat, and it's given you something. And sometimes that's all you need to hold on to, is even when you feel like you've got nothing, there's always something you have. I think we need to sit and just really just think of what we've got. Sure, things that we don't have can be upsetting, can be make things difficult, but you can work for them, or you can sit and you can just be upset and throw your toys out the cot. And I think that's where we need to put energy into. Doesn't matter what kind of struggle you've got. I think all of us have different struggles. They're all relative to our ability to handle those struggles, and they're all there to build us, to create character, to create a stronger relationship with God. Like for me, this stuff might feel very tough, and like I said, it sucks, man. It sucked for months now, but just hold on. I think that's what I want. If anyone takes anything out of this, I know it's a very long episode, but just hold on, man. At the end of the day, we can sit and we can be upset. I can tell you right now, there's rich people that have issues, there's poor people that have issues, there's people in the middle that have issues. All their issues are relative to the things that they're going through. All the issues are there, but there is a sense of they can change their situation depending on how they do things. You can either cling to God, you can follow what you read here. And I promise you, what you read here, if you've gone through all the days so far, there's so many good pieces of advice here that create a genuine human being while simultaneously teaching you to be working hard, to be doing your part and putting effort in the way that you should, instead of just accepting what needs to be. I had a friend that came to me yesterday, and they asked me about a thing that they were doing for a job interview, it's for a band. They're going to do like the media or the like background management and stuff like that. And they're like, Josh, can I send you these things because you're quite experienced in this stuff? Can you just give me some guidance? Can you give me some tips? They've been doing X, Y, and Z. They've got an assistance, obviously, from ChatGPT, Gemini, and then they just wanted to make sure that I was right. They were in the right track. And I watched it and I was like, that's actually very good for someone who doesn't do this stuff. The thing is, all of that stuff is, for me, like I told her, it's very subjective. But she said, and one thing I called her out on is that, oh no, if it's meant to be, it's not meant to be. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And I cut her off right there, and I'm like, that's not how that works. If you want it to be God, you said it yourself. If God wanted it to be, it would happen. But that does not mean that it exempts you from putting in absolutely everything that you've got. If you don't put in everything that you've got, you cannot have that line. You've not earned that line of, if it was meant to be, it was meant to be. Because you never put in enough effort to show that. You never showed God that it means anything to you. And she sat back and she took it in. But then she also acknowledged that, yeah, she's put in a lot of effort. And I can see she put in a lot of effort, but don't ever just sit and think that if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and then put in 50%. It's not how that works. It's you put in all that effort, or don't bother. And then don't get upset when the result isn't what you want it to be. Back to what we were saying. Okay, Jacob must have been amazed to see Esau's change in heart when the two brothers met again. Esau was no longer bitter over Luke did that. Bowing to the ground 7 times was a sign of respect given to a king. Jacob was taking every precaution as he met Esau, hoping to dispel any thoughts of revenge. Esau greeted his brother Jacob with a hug. Imagine how difficult this must have been for a man who had once actually plotted his brother's death, but time away from each other allowed the bitter wounds to heal. With the passing of time, each brother came to see that their relationship was more important than their real estate. Nothing's more important than family for me, friendships for me, relationships with people for me. If you have those, I think you can always get very far in life. It's how I've gotten here. I haven't worked too hard. It's my own faults, but thanks to friends, thanks to family, thanks to good relationships, I'm where I am. They've given me work, they've provided advice, they've provided shelter. Everything that I could need has been provided because of my relationships with people. Why did Jacob send gifts ahead for Esau? In Bible times, gifts were given for several reasons. This may have been a bribe. Gifts are still given to win someone over by his or her support. Esau may have refused Jacob's gifts at first because he didn't want or need a bribe. He had already forgiven Jacob, and he had an ample wealth of his own. This may have been an expression of affection. It may have been a customary way of greeting someone before an important meeting. Such gifts would have been related to a person's occupation. This explains why Jacob sent Esau cattle, donkeys, sheep, and goats. Then finally, why did Jacob imply that he was going to Seir, but then stop at Succoth? We don't know the answer, but perhaps Jacob decided to stop there as they journeyed because Succoth is a beautiful sight on the eastern side of the Jordan River. Or perhaps Jacob was being characteristically deceptive. Even though Esau had forgiven him, Jacob didn't trust him enough to follow him to his home, so he lied for whatever reason. Jacob and Esau parted in peace. They lived fairly close to each other until after their father's death. Okay. that is us for today. It's a very long video. I'm sorry. But I think I needed a vent. I think I needed just to open up. Not many people watch the long form videos, so it is what it is. But yeah, as long as one day I look back and I just see where I was, where I am, and remember the journey that it took to get there, whether it be positive or negative. For all we know, it could be a spiral downwards, but tell you right now, I'll fight it. Yeah, if you have anything you're going through, we can always have a chat. If you have a different perception or you have any advice, I mean, throw it my way. Let's see what you guys can think of. And yeah, I can do the same for you guys. Like I say, I'm not a registered pastor. I don't know everything, but yeah, I'm going through everything the way that I feel comfortable going through it. But thank you. I hope you have a good day, and I hope everything goes well for you.